What's up, people? Tonight we're gonna go through my collection real quick, show you my old trucks, show you my new trucks, and let you see what I build, what I beat on, and what I talk about. So let's get into it. First up, got my Slayer Pro 4x4 here. This thing's my oldest living truck anyway. It's a lot of fun. This is probably my favorite truck that I have. The other ones are great, but this one's my favorite. It's my baby. So it's got a set of Proline F11 beadlocks with Icon tires from Proline. And behind there are X01 hubs. They have a large enough bore diameter so the Slayer drive shafts fit through them. And it also sizes the hubs from 14 millimeters, which is stock, to 12 millimeters, so we can put regular short course tires on these things, because the stock tires totally suck. So pull off the body, let you guys see what's under the hood. So this thing's about 8 years old, so very due for a rebuild. We got a bunch of videos coming for that. I'm acquiring parts right now. We're gonna ditch all the blue and make this thing sweet. Do fresh bearing kit, stainless hardware kit. This thing already has the shocks rebuilt and both differentials rebuilt. The front has 300K fluid. The rear has 500K fluid. Made it drive super nice. I think the front differential leaked all of its fluid out, so it made this thing really sketchy going over bumps. But that's been taken care of. Both of them have E-Revo case supports in the differentials just to make them a little bit more bulletproof. This thing does have that beautiful little OS 21 TM mill for it. This thing rips so hard, so stable at speed, going around corners. All it does is soak it up and go. I haven't broken much on this car in 8 years. Granted, it only got driven for about 2 of those 8 years, so it's been sitting. Time for rebuild, like I said, but keep your eyes out for videos on that. Those are coming. All right, well, let's get into the next one. That's the Slayer. Next up, got the 10 scale slash, nitro slash. Pretty sweet gold paint job. This one's got a set of Duratrax robbers on it. They work really well for street use. This thing's a bit of a pavement princess, but next year we'll see how it does on a dirt track, especially next to the old Slayer. Take off the body of this one as well. It's pretty stock at the moment. It's got aluminum shock caps, aluminum steering bell cranks, and an aluminum servo arm. This thing is pretty light compared to the Slayer. This thing's about 6 pounds full of fuel. Big girl down there is 10. This one's also considerably smaller, 2-wheel drive, single speed. You know, it's basically half a Slayer. It has that little 3.3 right there that we put some bearings in, and it has a big OS carburetor, so I'm a little bit worried this thing's going to be faster than the Slayer, at least in a straight line, but we'll see. This one is basically getting every part touched on it over this winter. We're ditching the blue just like the Slayer. I can't stand blue. It bums me out. Acquiring parts at the moment for it, basically a full build out. I'll have another nitro slash by the time I'm done building this thing out, and that's what that little 2.5 will go in. It's that other nitro slash, just to give it to my friends and let them have something with a little bit less woo-pow and definitely less fuel consumption, so it's easier on the pockets. Love this thing. It got rebuilt from my first Nitro Rustler. That was my first hobby grade RC car, and I just don't like how stadium trucks look, so This has been built out of the bones of that car. Didn't cost me much. I think I built a Nitro Slash out of a completely torn apart and unused Nitro Rustler for about $100. So for a trophy truck, it's hard to say no to that for me. Love this thing. Let's get into the next one. We'll do a little size comparison afterwards between the big truck, the medium truck, and the little truck. This is my new to me mini Slash, basically a mini Slayer though. Take the body off. This body's super beat. Picked this thing up 2 weekends ago for $100. Kind of hard to say no to that. Came with a battery and 2 bodies and ready to rip. So it needs some TLC. Sometimes buying used is a little bit of a crapshoot, but for $100, like I said, it's hard to say no to this thing. Needs bearing kit, and I'm also not really an electric guy, so I don't know what I'm doing that much, but this thing's super fun. I love beating on it. It's basically indestructible. The 10th scale power and a 16th scale package makes this thing an absolute rocket ship. It's super fun, and I think a VXL in this or in a mini E-Revo or whatever, just what an uncontrollable cruise missile of a machine. That would be entirely unnecessary, and I get my speed elsewhere. So this thing's a lot of fun. Like I said, full rebuild coming on this. I don't think we're going to go as crazy as we are with the Slayer and the big Slash, but we got to ditch the blue and the gray on this thing. It is not the vibration, so we'll get that dealt with. Get rid of the red too, red push rods, red tie rods, all that stuff's going to go. But keep the springs. I think the springs are a nice little red touch in a sea of what's going to be either black or silver or who knows what. Figure that out a little bit down the line. So like I said, we'll do a little bit of a size comparison between this and the 2 big trucks. I think the Slayer is a little bit closer to 8th scale. That's obviously 10th scale. This is 16th scale, but we'll get more into that when we put them all up here on the table. Next up, we'll get into my most recent acquisition that's also kind of a change of pace for me. And that is my drift car that I picked up this last week. This thing is awesome. Unfortunately, the body is a Super Beat SC300 with a absolutely god-awful silvery pink paint job that makes me want to puke. I fucking hate how this car looks, but thankfully Corvette body already ordered. We're also going to ditch these black 6-spoke wheels. They're just not the move. I do not like them. But I traded my Nintendo Switch that I haven't touched in probably 6 months straight across for this thing. Show you what's under the hood of it. Come on, bitch. So we've got a Yokomo YD2S. Has a Oniseki drift servo in it. Absolutely retarded angle, as we can see. It's insane. It's got a set of El Cheapo shocks on it, set of magnetic body mounts. It's got an MST XBL motor. Not sure what the ESC is. This thing's a pretty budget build, but cost me $0, so I'm pretty hyped on it, and it drives really great. It's a ton of fun. I think this will get a little bit of a build, just mostly as I break things and as a hack job before me put this thing together. If shit comes apart, well, guess I kind of got no choice but to fix it. Thankfully, like I said, buying used is a crapshoot, but if you're like me, nothing really scares you. So I think I can manage myself keeping this thing running and getting it to a better state. We're just gonna work on the looks for the moment. It drives great, and when I break it, I'll fix it. That's just how it goes. Keep lookout for videos on this. All my friends love driving this thing, so hopefully we can get all them hooked and start drifting together. I love going to drift events in real life, real big scale cars, and drifting's the best motorsport if you ask me. It's a ton of fun. So let's get into a quick size comparison between the trophy trucks real quick. Set that back there. The medium truck. The big truck. So you can see, take a step back here, how they all stack up next to each other. The Slayer's noticeably bigger, but not like massively larger than the Slash. The Nitro Slash is definitely the simpler of the two, but yeah, it feels simpler when you drive it. So you can see that guy's little in comparison to these other two. Reason I say this Slayer is 8th scale is because set mini Slayer on top, and it's literally two of them. If you look at it, it's about half the size, and that's 16th. So that makes me think, multiply that by 2, and you got 1/8. Underneath you can see this is basically a Revo, a Merv if you will, mini Revo, and it's much closer to what the Slayer looks like underneath, with the inboard suspension and center drive and 4-wheel drive, the whole nine. This is much closer to the layout of that than it is to the layout of the Nitro Slash. These are kind of set up differently than the electric shit, but anyway, there's a little bit of a size comparison for you. Complication comparison. We'll make some running videos here this next year as soon as dries out and warms up a little bit. Nitro motors don't like wet and they don't like cold. I like wet, but I don't like cold. So anyway, thanks for checking out the video. Thanks for checking out my collection. I'm Wyatt with RC Done Right. We'll catch you in the next one.